Recording in progress. I appreciate that you tried, Marvelous. The second link that you sent me, it says my browser won't support it. It said you have to be in Safari, and I tried in Safari, and it still said browser won't support it. It's for Marvelous,
Notebook. Wait, my notebook.
very real tech resistance.
I don't know why Safari, because I opened it and it's just a video from my cell phone. And then I downloaded it to Dropbox, but you couldn't open it from Dropbox. So I just sent it.
The link you sent to me, it said the folder is empty. There wasn't a file for me to
No.
download in there. So we'll keep trying to figure it out. I'm proud of you for doing your homework. I'm proud of Bridget doing your homework. If anybody else did their homework and I didn't catch it, let me know. Thank you for the testimonial, Zori, and whoever it was that you sent the testimonial, Bridget.
Yes, that one.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Y'all.
Tech, did you get my other email as well? The channel?
I don't think so. When did you send it?
I sent two back to back last night. I sent the channel first and then I did the testimonial.
Let me look real quick.
You okay, Emmy?
Oh, I'm just so tired.
Tired?
Yeah. They wore me out today. The day just wore me out today.
Zori,
Yes.
I only have one email from you, and it's the "What have I gotten?"
Okay. I'm let me check. Let me check see if it's sent.
Okay. Yeah, if you can resend that. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started, y'all. Let me mute these here. I don't know what kind of mic Emmy uses, but I feel like I'm in like surround sound when when her mic is on. It's crazy. Okay. Boom. Boom. All right. And we're recording. Yes. Awesome. All right. Welcome, everybody. Channel panel Wonder Twins Unite. Um, Welcome back. If you missed the Divinity Code activation, I'm sorry. It was amazing. And I've been trying to process why it was so powerful. Um, and part of the reason is that I channeled more, I think, of the council than I have before in a live workshop, and that gave it a certain level, of gravity. Um, and then the rest, I just think, was how everybody brought it. Everybody was really open to playing and doing things they've never done before, getting out of their comfort zone, so to speak. So it was amazing, and I did finally get it uploaded to YouTube, so I will put it somewhere in the Soulstream community so that you guys that missed it can access it, because I really don't want you to miss it. Um, and I just want to do a quick overview of what we're doing, because we do have some new people and they don't necessarily know how this works. So hang with me here a second. I want to show everyone a challenge that we have, and we're going to need a creative solution to figure it out. If you haven't been to the Soulstream community, this is where all of our sessions are: channeling higher self. Okay. If you come in here, we have two divisions. We have classes, that's our Sunday night channel panel 2 hour workshops. And then we have Council of One. These are the actual channeled messages. Okay, so this is the messages from the council. And then these are all of these classes where what we're really doing is connecting with each other and giving ourselves permission to practice these tools, practice these exercises, you know. That's what these are. These are all practice. And these are all the council's messages. And what I did the other day is I listened to almost all of these back to back in a row. And I had trouble speaking. I had trouble moving because of how connected this made me to this message and to what we're doing. And I don't know how many of you are watching these or keeping up with these like at all. There's very little feedback on any of them. So I have no idea who's actually utilizing these. But I can tell y'all that Heather has gone back and listened to them several times. And I know that's part of why her channeling sounds so similar to the council, is that she's really ingesting this over and over again. And what I've seen is that when I ingest it over and over again, it solidifies my connection even more. And this is a ton of value here, okay? But every one of these is 2-hour sessions. And not a lot of us have the time and energy to go do entire 2-hour sessions. And so part of the challenge is that each of these I have written, I have gone through and actually transcribed every single one of these. So the text is here for every single one of these. And it's infinitely easier to read through this text really quickly than it is to watch a 15-minute video. Okay? It's way easier. Calibration, that's 17 minutes. If I read this, it'll take me maybe 6 minutes to read that, probably less, right? And so the challenge that we have is this is all of our content. Anytime anybody new is going to join this, ideally they need to watch all of this, but almost nobody's going to watch all of this because it's 25 or 24, 26 hours of content. But the difference is when we come here, we have no transcript, we have no outline, we have no way to say, here's what we actually learned in this lesson. Calibration. We have no way to like just really quick and look, what did we cover in calibration? So I got to spend 2 hours to go and or a lot of time to scrub through to try and find what's the little pieces. And so I asked Heather about helping solve this, and what she realized is that every single one of these videos, YouTube does a transcript automatically. But if you try and copy that transcript, the format comes out like shit. It comes out really crappy. It looks like, hold on, I'm actually in the process of trying to do this, and this is what it comes out looking like. It's very terribly formatted. It's very terribly formatted. And it's super long. Like, look at, I don't even know how many pages this is, but it's super long. And so what I need to do is figure out of all of this, this was our very first, session. Out of all of this, what are the most important bullet points that we need to put here so that we can all go back and see calibration? These are the main points that we need to understand. Does that make sense to everybody? This is an organizational challenge that we have. And yes, it's my problem, but it's 26 motherfucking hours of content. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have 26 hours on top of everything I do for free with TikTok already to do all that. But I do go through all that energy on all of these. That's how much I love you guys. That's how much I care. I go back and I hand transcribe all of these. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of y'all are actually listening to these, like I said, because the feedback isn't like, I'm not getting much, so I don't know who is. But one of the things we're going to do tonight is I'm going to read channeling and activation to you all, just so that we can remember where we all began, and y'all can all start to feel how much of this has actually happened to you. Okay, so we're going to go through this tonight before we get into the concept guide. And before we do any of that, we're going to go ahead and do our rounds. So what I'd like this week is, as we go around, if you were in the Divinity Codes activation workshop with us, tell us anything that you can about that. Otherwise, just tell us anything that you can about your week this week, your practice, what you've seen, what you've learned, whatever. Can you go first for us, Marvelous?
Hi, everyone. So I was there Thursday, and I think I was very engaged, more than other times. I really tuned into my higher self just showing up through me. So I felt that more prevalent than usual, right? You know, I think my higher self's here all the time, right? But it was more expressed that evening. So the codes totally activated more of my, like, my mission here, like what I'm here to do. So it kind of attuned me, right? And also there was a lot of more centering and feeling grounded after the session. So there's been a lot of peace after Thursday. Now before Thursday, things were a little, the energies in the collective were a little wacky, but Thursday kind of got me center, and I've been pretty centered and peaceful ever since. And also recognizing myself in that action. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, dear. Love that. I felt that extra connection. That was awesome. Bridget, talk to us.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of different things, and I was there for the group session on Thursday, and that was just a lot of energy, more intense, more tingling, full body, all over, very hot. I did come to some realizations because I started, well, I'm planning on reading it, but I'm listening to the Sophia Codes. And I'm thinking the place that I go to when I meditate, I keep saying it's dark. I think it's the goddess's womb that I'm sitting in, because I feel like that's where, leaving my mom's womb, I think that's when all my trouble started. It's so like my peace is in the womb. So I think I'm actually sitting there because it's so peaceful. There's no fear. I'm just feel like I'm ready to jump into anything, and which is why I hopped into the thing on Thursday. So it's like, I'm just juggling all these different things. I've also done this self-mastery, love yourself. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in my, the things that I've been posting, you commented on one of them that it was like a self-mastery class. And I'm like, yeah, that's because I followed the thing and I'm doing the assignments. So it's, it'll come through if you haven't read the other ones. And I'm a little behind in posting them all, but I'm working on it. And yeah, I feel like I've come a long way. And last night I did dream of having a conversation with a crow, but don't ask me what it was about because I don't remember. I woke up and I couldn't retain any of it. It was like, zoop, it disappeared. But I do remember talking for a long time. So it's kind of funny.
Awesome. I love it. And when you say self-love, you mean the course inside the
live, the one I did. I pulled it and watched the video, and I wrote down all the things you said to do.
Got you.
And so I'm doing those assignments. So doing assignments, a couple of assignments, and then trying to get my stuff still in. But I've kind of combined them with the stuff. So it's like I'm doing intentions, I'm doing integration. It's like being all jammed into one, So if you're listening to them and paying attention, you see that they're all kind of like thrown in there if you're paying attention to what I'm saying. So it's
love it. I love how you're activating each piece. That's beautiful. Thank you, dear. Zori, tell us anything you can about your practice, anything you learned or saw or experienced this week.
My practice has been intense for the last couple of weeks. I've been practicing. I've been trying to meditate. I've been not trying. I've been meditating for an hour and 11 minutes. I really like that number 111. It's really meaningful to me. So I've been practicing doing my meditation for an hour and 11 minutes. And there was one night in particular that was really, really stressful for me. I felt like ants were crawling over me. My body was heating up in different areas, and I had the shakes like more than a few times. Like I just couldn't stand still. I was being pushed. I knew I was being tested and I was being pushed. It happened two times, but not two nights, but not the way it did. Excuse me, baby. Hold on. It didn't happen to me the same like the first night. It was like really intense. I think it was like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was just like intense. Like I felt like ants were crawling all over me. Um, and it was just like I felt like they had gotten my pants. It was just bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just very, very challenging to stay still and allow the energy to flow and allow the energy to move. Like that really, really pressed. That really pressed me. I've been um I've been really focused and I've been trying to intentionally take less stress off of my plate and be more centered and be more patient in the process of my brand and the things that I'm trying to do as a fitness trainer and just the things I'm doing with my body and the things I'm going through with my body. So I just been like I haven't been working out the same for the last couple of weeks. I've been working out, but it's hasn't been with the same intensity or the same well, not the same frequency. I've been working out every day, but not the same intensity. Um, so I just been doing some push-ups like some squats. Like I've been doing everything that I normally do, but not at the same intensity and at the same rate. So I've been trying different things just to figure out, like how do I help myself and my digestive system? And I've been getting a lot of leeway. I mean, I've been getting a lot of good progress with my digestive system. I'm being able to eat meals without, the food coming back up. I'm working out without the food coming back up. My gas is going down. I'm not belching anymore. I don't have as much gas in my belly, so I'm not passing gas as much as I was, and I'm not belching. So I know that I'm healing, and I know that things are getting better. But it is a journey. It is a battle. And I finally got on I finally got somebody to I'm almost there with my scheduled endoscopy. So they're gonna check and see with everything that I had from birth. I had a lot of procedures, a lot of surgeries. Had like 3 or 4 surgeries when I was like 3 years old. And just to make sure I don't have to have any more surgical repair from those surgeries or anything. I have an endoscopy coming up. Should be in the next couple of weeks. I'll be able to find more answers, changed my diet a little bit, added some things, took some things out. So I've been, I just been patient. I have, that's a hard thing for me to be still and be patient. I feel like the harder I work out, the more I'll keep my muscle, but it's not always that case. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes less is more. And I'm learning that lesson, like, okay, stop working out, Z. Stop, like, don't work out today. Like I have to consciously tell myself not to work out because I feel if I'm not working out, then I'm losing or I'm not being productive. Um, so I have these burnouts and I'm not burning myself out anymore, but it's like I'm not used to this, like being this still and this patient on allowing the process to come. Like, okay, I won't work out Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, why I want to work out so bad. And I'm just, I have more trouble sitting still and standing still than I do. Like, I'll go out and run 4 or 5 miles. But if you ask me to just sit still and get on the computer and log into this and log into that, or sit down and edit some content, it's like, I don't, I don't want to do it. It's like a chore to me. So, I'm just, I'm trying to find more balance, and I'm finding it. It's uncomfortable though. It's uncomfortable to be this still. It's uncomfortable to be in meditation for that long. Um, but it's showing a lot of fruit, and like a lot of things are happening. And I just have to realize that I am devoted to my spirituality and my health and wellness and my brand. Like, my brand is I Choose Life, but it's more than me creating content and me getting clients. It's everything that I do on a daily basis, the people that I affect, the people that I'm talking to, the thing that I did today for a family. Like, all of that is included in that. The things that I'm doing for my family, everything's included in that. But sometimes I feel like if I'm not gaining clients, or I'm not out there creating content, if I'm comparing myself to other people and their progress and the things that they got going on, and it's counterproductive a lot of times to compare yourself to everybody else, because only you are living your life, and only you have to get up and go through the things, the trials and tribulations that are, that make up your walk and make up your journey. So I'm becoming healthier, but it's uncomfortable. And you know, I'm just pressing past that a lot of things that I'm uncomfortable with right now. Even posting myself, I fear being seen. So posting myself is a is something that I get nervous about it every single time. But I'm pressing forward, and I'm finding ways to center myself and ground myself as I press past so many insecurities and so many things that bring me anxiety and nervousness. So I'm I'm um I'm doing what I can to be healthy and to make and keep my sanity.
Right on, brother. Thank you for the vulnerability, man. Always,
Yes, sir.
always doing the work. Emmy, can you tell us anything you can about your practice this week? Or I think you were Trinity Codes with us, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. That was amazing because I went in and totally drained from the day, and I came out feeling like a different person at the end of that. And I really have been feeling so much just like almost just like physically open, almost like my forehead's not as tense or something, it's so I do most of my meditations when I'm, at the end of the day, the kids are asleep and I'll be taking a bath, and I love the Epsom salts. They save me half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So just meditating, and I kept doing that pinhole like focus
Mm-hmm.
meditation, and then just make it mind really big and then small. And I've been practicing that. It's really strong visualization for me. Um, it was a good exercise, and trying to find stillness in my days is very difficult too. So I can relate to that. Yeah, just continuously working on letting go of anxieties and doing what I can to keep going on this journey. So I don't want to give up. Yeah.
How many days a week do you think you're practicing?
um, I try to do that at least every other night. I mean, there are some nights where I can barely, like, I'm putting the kids to bed and I'm falling asleep there too. So I'm just gotta dedicate a time at the same time every day. I think that's what it is.
Guess what the topic is tonight? Discipline of personality.
Haha. Yes.
Haha. Haha. Totally.
Sounds like something I need. Yeah.
Totally. You're getting all of it logically, honey. But when you build the ritual every day, it'll change you in ways the logic never will. And it takes discipline. It takes discipline.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Kristen, are you just on the wall tonight, or did you want to say hello to everybody first? Kristen's still dealing with COVID, y'all.
Oh no.
She ends up.
Hello. I'm in my own sacred ceremony right now. Um, I'm laying in bed, but I'm listening to you all. And I started doing light language, and my body is so hot, and I can see electrons melting off of my body, going up into the ether. And I'm feeling my guides around me. I'm asking them to support to help me cut to get rid of the COVID. Like, I'm done. This is like day 4 or 5 of high fevers. Homegirl's had enough, and I would like to be normal again. So as I was there for the divine activation, I was thinking about the 5 steps. There was focus, intention, incantation, I think, which is like the spellcraft, visualization. What was the last one?
Sensation.
Sensation, that's what it was. So this week with COVID has been a whole psychedelic journey without psychedelics. When I woke up, I think it was Friday morning, higher self came to me and said, this, you are sick. Yes, you do have COVID, and this is going to be a whole transformational process for you of ascension and healing. And just before I woke up, I had a dream like when there was this black goo that was being separated from my body. And I can feel I was finding freedom from that. I was finding healing. I have been working with intense dreams about jealousy and rage. I have seen like clogged drains of shit being poured out of my womb that was connected all the way to my fingertips through my chest and pouring out of my body. It's been incredible. I'm over here, I'm getting another heat wave, and I'm just starting to sing songs in here. I'm like, it's getting hot in here, like, and just having the best time of my life with it, because there's nothing else I can do with this process but just have fun with it. Or I get the burden up, or we didn't start the fire has been another one. Billy Joel. I've been in ceremony with myself all weekend. I've never sweat in places I haven't sweat before. Like, my thighs are sweating. Who knew? But it's been very transformational and healing in those processes to go deep into those emotions and to feel. And I'm waking up and I'm scared shitless. I'm like, what the fuck did I just dream? Because this is not me in the waking state. But I felt the importance of processing probably the imprinting from generations, from past lives, to feel the intensity of these emotions, to release it so I can find the freedom. Yeah. So I'm excited for tonight in the mudra. I'm going to be half in, half out, but I'm going to be back on my bed doing whatever light work was happening over there. But I will be listening in the process. And thank you for allowing me to be the fly on the wall tonight. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for hanging out. Okay, let's get started. So the 5 steps that Kristen just mentioned, this is part of my point, that as elders of the council, We need to figure out a way to make it easier for ourselves and anybody else coming in to break these pieces down, right? So the 5 that we talked about in the Divinity Code activation is intention, focus, incantation, visualization, and sensation. And that's just like an outline of all the skills we dealt with in that workshop. And those skills being combined together so that everybody has an example of like is familiar with each of these skills is what allowed us to do what we did at the meditation in the end. And and so this is why I wanted to come and read this channel to you guys. And the channel is 36 minutes if you do it, but I can read the thing in like 10 minutes here. So if you want to close your eyes, cool. If you want to take notes, cool. Zori, I can already see you fading. If you can hang on with us, would love to have you aware. If you pass out, it's all right. We love you. um, but I want to dip into this and and I want y'all specifically to feel how much of this you've all already achieved. I want you to feel what you've learned of this. All right, here we go. This is channeling activation. This is the first channel that the council shared. Greetings in the love and light of the one infinite creator. We are the Council of One. We've been assembled as a portal to intelligent infinity and the birth of all that is. Today we would speak on the orientation of the soul in service to others. The orientation of the soul in service to others is quite a momentous occasion in each soul's journey where free will chooses to support all of creation. There's a moment in every soul's evolution in which free will chooses to let go of separation, chooses to let go of fear, chooses to let go of ownership, chooses to let go of control. In this moment of free will decision, the soul must choose a path to walk. To not choose is still a choice and simply leads to a sloppy, inefficient path. This choice is always made, what path to walk upon in service to others, how to be of service to others. Knowing that in serving others, one inherently serves themselves. A path each one has the option to choose is that which you call the channel. This is the choice to use your vehicle as an instrument of light and love. In the choice to use one's vehicle as an instrument of light and love, one must learn to hold a different frequency of thought. One must learn to hold a different frequency of sensation. One must learn to hold a different frequency of perception. How to raise the frequency of one's perception is far simpler than any of you can imagine. The key to raising one's frequency of thought and feeling is focus. Focus is the key to affecting, modulating, amplifying, and transducing your energy. Through the concentration of focus, you can modulate energy, you can amplify energy, and you can transduce and transform energy. Transforming energy means transforming perception. Focus is the key. So then how does one focus, you ask? In any way that one chooses. Focus, like balance, is a skill that can be applied to anything. Balance does not only exist on a beam or a log or a ball. Balance exists in relationship to everything. Focus is merely balance for the mind. And likewise, focus is inherently a part of everything and every experience. It is never a question of whether one is focusing or not. The only question is to what degree is one focusing? Focus, like everything, exists on a spectrum. At one end of the spectrum is the concentrated, minute, infinitesimal laser beam of deep focus. And on the other end is an infinitely scattered fog. This fog still requires focus. This fog still exists in time and space. It simply is not concentrated. It is diffuse. It is scattered. It is chaotic. At the end of the spectrum, at this end of the spectrum, one feels confused and lost and afraid and vulnerable. At this end of the spectrum, one struggles with meaning and purpose. At this end of the spectrum, one suffers with depression and pessimism and nihilism. At the other end of the spectrum, focus becomes so concentrated, so intensified, so dense in its mass that nothing else seems to exist. At this point of hyper-focus, hyper-awareness, one begins to see into other dimensions. While focus is diffuse, one sees only this dimension. One sees only the illusion of time and space. On the other side of the spectrum of focus or hyperfocus, in hyper-awareness, one begins to see and hear and feel into other dimensions. Dimensions are not nearly as complicated as they seem when trapped inside of them. When trapped inside of a dimension, they can seem very confusing and confounding. But when seen from above, lower dimensions seem as simple as a child's crayon drawing. They feel as predictable as a soap opera drama. You must not think of dimensions as places. This is an incorrect assumption. For in truth, dimensions are states of being. The simplest way to begin interfacing with higher dimensions is to begin by studying one's own dreams. If you can imagine that your dreams are in their own dimension and you just happen to be able to see them, you will start to understand how you already see into other dimensions in many ways. The only question is whether you practice enough to be able to do this at will. Do you practice enough to focus your mind to a high frequency laser beam? As in all endeavors, the quality and quantity of your practice will determine your ability. Do not believe this is a pass or fail game, looking into other dimensions. Like everything, this exists on a spectrum as well. Understand that you are accessing the spectrum through your dreams. Understand you are accessing the spectrum through your meditation, through your breath work, through your yoga and qigong and pranayama. Seeing into other dimensions is simply what you call altered states of being or altered states of mind. There are many ways to alter one's state of mind. What we hope to help you achieve is finding a healthy and sustainable way to deepen and broaden your vision, your hearing, and your feeling into other dimensions. This is the only invitation. At what level of other dimensions you are satisfied in your connection is up to you. This is your free will. There is no expectation of how high in the hierarchy of you-ness that you need to strive. Any step in the direction of source is a priceless accomplishment. Any step in the direction of source is a priceless accomplishment. If you can remember this, every practice you do will become priceless to you. Every moment focusing your attention on an even tighter and higher frequency will serve you in your highest good. And only when you have practiced this process within yourself enough times that you feel comfortable and confident Should you even consider sharing this connection with others? Those of you who desire to share your connection to intelligent infinity through intelligent energy with other beings, we will be happy to guide you. But do not believe that this is expected. This is your spectrum, and you are welcome to sample it at any level you desire in every moment of your existence. We only hope to help you clarify your intention so that you may focus your attention in order to create the power of vision, the power of listening, the power of feeling, all of which ultimately will lead you to empowerment, self-realization, oneness with all, and allness in one. We leave you in the love and light of the one infinite creator. We are the Council of One. Namaste. Woo! So that's a 40-minute video, y'all, to like sit down and try and listen to. That took me about 12, 13 minutes to read it. This is what we have to figure out how to do with those old episodes of these weekly workshops, because I don't know how much Coretta has been able to watch of those. You know, I'm sure she hasn't watched 24 hours of them, but there are tremendously important skills in each one of those that she doesn't know because she wasn't there with us. And so what we have to figure out how to do is to keep these in a concise way where not only can we remind ourselves what are these major elements that we're working with, because you guys are learning so many tools. You guys are learning this cacophony of multidimensional tools, and we're not going over the same tools every week. We mention them, we talk about them, but then we're adding new tools all the time. And every week I want to like stop down and do like let's go through like all the different, yeah, every week. But then there's new stuff that wants to come through every week, just like this week, mudras and the discipline of personality. I couldn't skip that to go and do a rehash, you know what I mean? So this is one problem that I'm trying to solve, and I would love anyone's help that has ideas of how we can do it. Does anybody have thoughts, questions about that message from the council? Anyone? Kristen.
My thought is to ask the council what would be a good prerequisite for all new students going forward who haven't started the original program. Like if they can create like 1 or 2 hours of introduction so that we're all on basic skills, that we're all on the same level.
I appreciate that, but it's already done. They've already shared all the stuff. Like it's up to us to collate it. You know what I mean? Like go in and ask Ra to edit the Law of One. You know what I mean? Like Ra gave all this information, and then it's up to the humans to collate.
Right.
I need help collating and managing this
Right.
because it's a lot of information. And I don't feel like that's something that I would go to them and go, oh, by the way, all that stuff you told us, can you give it to us in a simple way? And I don't feel like I would be able to remember it in that exact order. You know what I mean? Like I don't want that pressure of me to remember all this shit because it's 24 hours of content, y'all. I know y'all don't remember everything in it because I don't even remember everything in it, all the different skills we've learned, you know? So
Right.
we just need to figure out a way to keep track of it so that we don't lose all these incredibly powerful tools because each one of them has their own thing to offer.
So I was formulating this based off like Seth Speaks, how Seth came in to Jane Roberts and like, here's the outline of the book that we're creating. And he stuck to the outline when they were dictating, when they were doing their channels. That's where I was approaching this from. I'm sure that we can all divvy out, 1 or 2 sessions and transcribe it. I mean, that's always a possibility, but sometimes the channel has more broadening ways to elevate all of us together as a consciousness.
Okay. Like there's a lot of broadening in there. There's many hours of it. I don't I don't know how to ask them to do it any simpler. But thank you though. Thank you. Marvelous.
All right, so my brain has been thinking about this, and um, in my brain, the way it's working is like we are the beginner class, right? So we are the first of this kind, right?
Right.
And
Right.
as we are, you already dissected the information. So there's nothing that we need to do for what you've already transcribed, right? It's already done. So we're looking towards the future. What are we going to do and how we incorporate this to the new people, right? And so what if you have this class of the senior council of one, and then you create a different class that you host with one of us to pick one of those beginning lessons, and we co-host with you for the new people. So then you can have level one, level two, and the more people join your classes, that we cannot all be on the same senior class because they're going to hold us back in a way, and we want to keep going, right? We want to keep creating new things. So we're the senior class, and we should, if we like, I would volunteer to take some of these lessons and start a new group that meets on a different night, and then have that consistency. Like we meet on Sundays, then we're level one, then the second group, you call it a different name, or level two, or second group comes in, but they're starting from here. We're over here. And so one of us can join you in teaching the new people and you repeat the lessons. Like we go back to the beginning, like, what was one of the titles of one,
hold on, Marvelous. I appreciate where you're coming from, but that's a model I've been using for a long time, is doing like new classes over and over again. And it's very important that this wasn't a class for a specific time, and not like doing it over and over again. It's very important that this is an ongoing live weekly experience. And it's really important that Coretta and anybody else that joins us be able to join us. And that's why this structure is always learning new things and expanding what's happening, right? Like I don't want to keep up with layers and layers of people and have to teach the same thing over and over again. Those things are taught and they're there for anybody that wants to go find them. I just want to make it easier for us, as well as anybody coming in, to gain the pieces of it, just like I read that in 12 minutes instead of having to sit there for 40 minutes to listen to the whole thing. I don't know how many of these 2 hour entire workshops our new students are getting. And so there's tons of tools and lessons in there that we want to make sure that people get. But me teaching the same tools over and over and over again is not a business model I'm trying to create in my life. Like that's what I did with fitness for many years. And so I don't want to keep teaching the same beginner, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's
right. So would you
building
trust?
that's why I'm building a catalog for
Right.
people to keep track and go through all those things, so I don't have to teach the same thing over and
So
over.
would you trust one of us to pick up a different night, and any new beginner who wants a refresher could join, and we would read
I
like you read
love
today?
I love the idea of you guys hosting
Teaching,
many many
teaching.
many sessions within the council. I love that idea. Um, but that's a separate idea from the problem I'm trying to solve. But we can talk more about that. I love that idea. Thank you. Um, okay, so the point of that was a couple of fold. Number one, this challenge that I'm having with how do we disseminate this information, the same way that a huge part of my challenge in life is how do we disseminate this information, right? Like this is very, very challenging for the average person to consume. and it's a lot, and it's not cheap. It's 5 of these books, right? So how do we condense this into a format that's more digestible to people? And that's what the idea of this group is. And it's there, and it's obviously worked. It's obviously worked. We just need a solution to make it more parsable. And I want you guys to put your heads against the wall for that. And we're going to continue tonight with the concept guide. And what we're going to be talking about tonight, this one maybe was just specifically for Emmy. And I want to give you just a little bit of tough love real quick, Emmy. Um, I I understand that you got 2 twins, and I understand that you're busy. But I also understand that you probably use your phone 3, 4, 5 hours every single day, like most human beings. Like we all flick on Twitter, we're all like doing, random stuff. And I would love to challenge you to listen to a single one of the council channels every single day. Let that be your meditation. I challenge you to do that just for 1 week and see what it does to you. Do you accept? Maybe, yes, yes. Zori.
I'm just stretching my hands.
Oh, okay.
Though I do, I I think everybody has some really good ideas. I often find the same problem. Like we create a lot, you know what I mean? So I take
Mm-hmm.
you create a lot, we create a lot. I think we've had this conversation. I know we've had this conversation about how much we've created and how it's hard to disseminate like, that flow that we constantly are in. You know what I mean? I feel like to me, I feel like there's really no way you can do it if in like unless you're going to like structure a council like our kind of book that we would structure. Like we would have to all sit down and take the core pieces from all the breakdown. Like we would have to put a cap on it. Like if we put a cap, say we're going to do a volume 1 and it's like the first 10 sessions and we're going to get the bit of that, and then we're going to put it and compile it into a book, and then we teach that book, or we have certain sessions and webinars where we're just teaching out of that book. But I feel like in a platform like this, it's almost like a podcast. So every podcast is going to have potent stuff in it, a potent flow in it, and it's up to the viewer to come and get indoctrinated, so to speak, like in the ideology of what we're all doing, because it is a flow that we're kind of, we don't really know what's gonna come night by night when we get in here. You know what I mean? We're all channeling. So when you're channeling, it's not like we might have a concept, like you always have a concept, you always have a topic and a concept that you're that you're that you structure the night on. But the things that come up, that's not something that like we can kind of control. You know what I mean? Like it's just a flow type of thing, and it's going to be up to people who just start listening, like finding a way to distribute it so that people can listen to it. Like, oh damn, that's they said some like sometimes I'll be on TikTok and I'll see somebody's podcast, but they'll have snippets of it, and I'll be like, damn, I gotta go find that interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'll go to YouTube and then I'll watch the whole interview. But that's me. And there are consumers like me who are just so thirsty and hungry for this knowledge that when they do hear something that sparks them, even if we've heard it before, it's always good to hear it again. And there's so much potency in what we're doing in this group. It's kind of gonna be really hard for us to like disseminate it for people who are coming in. It's kind of like you if you watch all the like because I'm like currently I'm watching this guy named Bill Donahue, and I
Hold
don't
on, though, Zori, hold on. I'm not asking you to disseminate anything. I'm asking
no
y'all to
no
help
no
me break down what has been disseminated already. And if you don't have time to help, no problem. you
No,
know,
no, no, no. That's not what I'm
but
saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it. I feel like it's going to be hard for us to give you an answer on that based upon the flow of how things are. I feel like it's up to the consumer to find the potency in it and go like listen to all of them, because if you 2 hours, you can listen to it 2 hours just bit by bit. Like you might not listen to it all at once, but if you break it down, I mean, if you just like what I was saying is that I'm listening to Bill Donahue and he has a lot of information on YouTube, but I watch one a night and that's what I've been doing. And I'm just getting the information in bit by bit of what he's as he breaks it down, because I feel like his teachings are potent and they resonate with me. And those people who do resonate with what we're doing will break it down. You know what I mean? Like they come in and they say, damn, that was potent. So they go in and say, I might not be able to, I might not want to speak, but I do want to listen to everything that they've done because they've done a lot. And I mean, I just don't know how we're going to, how that's going to, how you or any of us are going to break down what we're doing in like a format for people who are coming in, because it's a lot of information and it's going to continue to be a big flow.
I appreciate that you don't know how we're going to do that. And I wouldn't have known how we're going to do anything that we've done so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just know what feels important to me, and that's what I do here. And a way for the people that come in to learn the priceless tools you all have already learned is very important to what we're doing here. And this is not a podcast. This is a chorus. This is a chorus of channelers. And it ultimately is going to be interactive, like a chorus, like an orchestra, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I need everybody that wants to be in the chorus to know how to learn the tools, to learn how to, the instruments, to learn, people that come in that just jam with us, they can have a good meditation, but they don't know how to work with their guides yet. They don't know how to go and build a focus ritual. They don't know how to get to their sacred space. You understand? There are all these things that they don't know how to do, that all of y'all know how to do. And I know that's important for people to come in to be able to keep up with what we're doing here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if you're not, but you also said that you're not trying to like teach it as like a structure. So that's why I said, well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I wasn't saying that I don't have time or we don't have time. That's not at all what I was saying. I was just saying I don't know how, given the answers that you gave us tonight, how if you're not going to focus on a straight structure, how we're going to give people, how we're going to disseminate the information if it's not going to be, okay, this is tool one, this is tool two, and it repeatedly gets repeated as a structure.
So don't worry about it, bro. It's okay. Don't worry about that. You don't need to solve that problem. It's okay. So just don't worry about that. Well, I'll figure it out. Thank you.
You put a lot of them in the things there, though, like the 100 counts and stuff. Some of the ones that we were doing in the very beginning, you already have those in your free things for people to do.
I know, but almost nobody does those, Bridget, and people don't know where to start and they don't know where to go. And so people brand new coming in, and I'm just starting to interview people to bring new people in. They need to have a way to get these processes, these skills into their system. And expecting them to watch 24 hours of videos is not, that's not realistic, And so I know that there is a way to reduce the elements, and it's as simple as transcribing. I'm just going to need help. And if you don't have time to help, that's cool. It's going to be as simple as that. And we don't have to transcribe the old school way. Google has it, but we do have to edit out all the crappy formatting, and we have to edit out all the things that we're talking about that aren't important for the lessons. So it is going to be, some work, but it'll be a labor of love. And I'm committed to this. This is my version of the law of one. This is my
Oh,
interpretation of
I
installing
don't not watch the videos because
Say
there's
what?
I feel like they'll miss some stuff not watching what we've already done, because you can see transformation happening among us who are just beginning.
Of
And
course,
I feel
of course they'll miss stuff, Bridget, but nobody we can't expect anybody to watch 24 hours of video though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a realistic expectation. So yes, they're gonna miss stuff. And what I'm doing is trying to figure out what are the most important things that I don't want them to miss. As the conductor, as the coach of the soccer team, what exercises do I want every player out here to know? That's what I have to figure out, you know? And if it was one or two classes, it would be very easy for me to do it on my own. It's 26 hours, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's without the latest one, or I guess tonight's will be 28. It's 26 hours. So it's a daunting task. And I've started doing it with the first one. You know, I think Heather's going to help me with some, and I think other people will end up helping me some. But this is where we're going. This is my challenge right now. Anybody that has ideas, you know, we'll talk about it later. We got to get to the content tonight. But thank you all for your thoughts, and I will figure it out. Like it'll happen. It'll happen. This has to be an open place where new people can come in and start surfing this game with us. Okay. So, Emmy, the invitation is to just do a guided meditation every single day, one of the councils, because literally the act of just choosing to do something every day will change the whole dynamic. Um, and I'll chat with you about that later. What we're doing right now is the discipline of the personality. We're in the concept guide from the Raw Contact series. This is on page, oops. This is on page 62. As always, you can close your eyes. You can close your eyes or take notes. And I will let you know when we're talking to Ra here. And I don't remember offhand why I picked this one for this week, or I guess I should say this one picked me, but we'll talk about it when we're done, and then we'll do mudras before we get out of here. All right, y'all, here we go. Discipline of the personality. The disciplines of the personality are the paramount work of any who have become consciously aware of the process of evolution. This is Ra speaking. The heart of the discipline of the personality is threefold. 1, know yourself. 2, accept yourself. 3, become the creator. Thank you. The third step is that step which, when accomplished, renders one the most humble servant of all, transparent in personality, and completely able to know and accept other selves. To become the creator is to become all that there is. There is then no personality in the sense with which the adept begins in learn/teaching. As the consciousness of the indigo ray becomes more crystalline, the work may be done, more may be expressed from intelligent infinity. This is back to the writers of the book. For the positive path, the discipline of the personality results eventually in the whole knowledge of the self in micro and macrocosm, and in a finely tuned compassion and love which sees all things as love. Ra says, to the disciplined entity, all things are open and free. The discipline which opens the universes opens also the gateways to evolution. The difference is that of choosing either to hitchhike to a place where beauty may be seen, or to walk step by step, independent and free in this independence, to praise the strength to walk and the opportunity for the awareness of beauty. The hitchhiker instead is distracted by conversation and the vagaries of the road, and dependent upon the whims of others, is concerned to make the appointment in time. The hitchhiker sees the same beauty, but has not prepared itself for the establishment in the roots of mind of the experience. So the hitchhiker isn't prepared to receive the journey at the same level as someone who's consciously taking that journey for learning and growth. Author's note: to engage in self-discovery. Discipline as a noun is a field of study, the archetypes and sexual energy transfers being two such disciplines of spiritual evolution. But more often than not, Ra uses discipline as a verb, indicating an activity, exercise, or regimen that trains the mind, body, and spirit to seek the Creator upon the path of adepthood. The word seems to have a pejorative connotation to thinkers within the New Age community who see it as antithetical to love, freedom, and spontaneity. I believe that one part of this confusion stems from simply not knowing that in discipline exists true freedom. See quote above. The other part of this confusion stems from the fact that discipline on this planet is indeed has often been used in a negative sense, as a means of negative control of self and other self. Discipline is in fact key to advancement on the service to self path. Discipline is also, however, key to advancement and adepthood on the positive path. So they're saying both the light and the shadow, progression, evolution, discipline is necessary. Otherwise, you just kind of walk around in circles. I'll explore the positive use of discipline by attempting a rudimentary reasoning for the necessity of discipline. With or without discipline, one will move through life. The body will age. Catalyst will strike. Choices will be required. Expectations of conformance to one standard or another will be placed upon the self. But who is doing this living? Who is responding to the moment, making these choices, and processing this catalyst? Undisciplined, the self may exist as a vast composite of past conditioning absorbed from the experiences of life. The voices of parents, schooling, social circles, the mass mind, and our reactions to them offer inputs that literally condition the self to think, behave, respond, and exist in certain ways. Undisciplined, much of this is unconscious and running on autopilot, causing suffering and a divided, fragmented experience of self and others in a hall of mirrors, reflecting only images of separation. That's beautiful. Discipline, then, may be seen as the conscious determination to engage in self-discovery. Ooh, I'm going to say that one again, y'all. Discipline, then, may be seen as the conscious determination to engage in self-discovery. In that light, it is the practice of becoming conscious of the conditioned processes already in operation and the deeper identity hidden underneath those patterns. I got to say all of that again. Discipline, then, may be seen as the conscious determination to engage in self-discovery. In that light, it is the practice of becoming conscious of the conditioned processes already in operation and the deeper identity hidden underneath those patterns. In this journey, the most fundamental thing, being disciplined, is the attention. The attention, y'all. Attention is power. But the past conditioning makes conflicting claims upon this power, each voice within the self attempting to have its needs met and its objects of desire fulfilled. Discipline then gradually seeks to collect and focus this attention. But toward what end? Interpolarity. For the negative entity will harvest and focus its attention upon control of self and other. The positive entity will harvest and focus its attention upon loving and accepting self and other. It sounds funny that seeking love is a discipline, something one consciously entrains the attention to do. But it's quite true. Our past conditioning likely does not teach the self to constantly seek love. The awakening self, however, disciplines the attention to do so, to constantly seek love. The same holds true for all values of the positive path. The disciplined use of will consciously seeks service instead of sleep, declines distraction in favor of focus, and frames the moment with the highest questions worthy of pursuing, e.g., where is the love in the moment? How may I see the Creator in the other self? That's Jesus stuff. Learning to cultivate gratitude and invoke faith are also disciplines that the self trains the self into. Even spontaneity, the seeming antithesis of discipline, arises through a fine-tuned discipline of the self who has come to know itself, to accept itself, and to become the creator. This is the will that has been so cultivated through discipline, that the self is no longer shackled to past conditioning. The voices of should and do's and do nots. Instead, the centers crystallized and balanced through disciplined work in consciousness. This is the self who surrenders and lives day by day and moment by moment. For the true adept lives more and more as it is. This is the self who acts from a place of inner stillness and who moves in harmony with the one will, free to be and manifest who they are. The way that discipline intersects with the positive values of the loving, forgiving, open heart is explored here. Questioner, am I correct then in assuming that the discipline of the personality, knowledge of self, and control, shall I say, in strengthening of the will, would be what any fifth density entity would see as those things of importance? I am Ra. In actuality,
Can I get some good?
So what? Oh, sorry, bud. In actuality, these things are of importance in third through early seventh densities. The only correction and nuance that we would make is your use of the word control. It is paramount that it be understood that it is not desirable or helpful to the growth of the understanding, may we say, of an entity by itself to control thought processes or impulses, except where they may result in actions not consonant with the law of one. So they're saying control yourself in, violence, or control yourself in, whatever. The things that pull you away from truth. Control may seem to be a shortcut to discipline, peace, and illumination. However, this very control potentiates and necessitates the further incarnative experience in order to balance this control or repression of that self, which is perfect. So what they're saying is control creates more karma. It's going to create more karma so that you have to burn off, you have to live longer if you're trying to control, like with force. Instead, we appreciate and recommend the use of your second verb in regard to the use of the will, acceptance of self, forgiveness of self, and the direction of the will. This is the path towards the disciplined personality. Your faculty of will is that which is powerful within you as co-creator. You cannot ascribe to this faculty too much importance. Thus, it must be carefully used and directed in service to others for those upon the positively oriented path. There is great danger in the use of the will as the personality becomes stronger, for it may be used even subconsciously in ways reducing the polarity of the entity. This is how shadow uses discipline. All right. Emmy, will you unmute yourself? And I want to do this with each of you for just a second. Close your eyes for me, Emmy, and tell me anything that you got that you learned that you felt about discipline from that.
Gosh.
You remember automatic speaking? Say one word at a time.
Yes.
Doing an exercise now. Automatic speaking. Say one word at a time and just share anything that you can about discipline for us.
Um, um, Knowing one's self more, just within your practice. Ugh.
Keep going. That's awesome.
Having a set time every day and just sticking to it.
Tell us what you believe will happen if you do that.
Just more clarity, hoping for like positive coping with anxiety and release of that. Because it can really be just too much.
Can you see that literally just exerting the discipline to do it is one of your biggest challenges?
It is one. I have watched a few of those counsel. I think I just need to watch them over and over and just.
When you say watch, you mean with your eyes closed?
Oh, listen.
Right, because there's nothing on the screen. It's just the picture of the logo. So the invitation is to listen to it as a meditation. That's the invitation, is to listen to it as a meditation. And a huge part of the shift that happened in this divinity code activation is that a whole lot of what the council has been sharing so far has been conceptual, but now it's starting to be much more guided meditation, activating specific things in us, and it's having a more dramatic effect. And I know what you've been dealing with. You've been very clear with us since you started hanging out in the live stream. And it's been fun to watch you take each step. And we got another step to take, okay? We got another step to take. We'll be here to catch you. We love you. We love you. Marvelous.
Yes, sir.
Now you didn't get to a few of y'all sent me your homework, and thank you for that. I just got Zori, so I haven't had a chance to listen to his yet. I did get his testimonial. And I did get to listen to Bridget's. It's awesome. I did not get to receive Marvelous's. I was gonna play them, but it's too much time for us to do. So what I'm gonna try to do is edit pieces of them, and I will get yours from you, Marvelous. But if you can, close your eyes and just share with us anything that you can about that experience of doing your sounds and then giving yourself that pep talk.
Um, the as usual, I start my light language with like songs or like a sound. It's not a word that comes. It's just sounds that it's very soothing to me, and I noticed that specifically more when I was doing the assignment. Um, I noticed the vibration in my lips, the vibration in my body as I was making the sounds, and that was very soothing. And the conversations with me was more about rebirth and more about being in stillness and, kind of like what Bridget was saying, being in the womb, like, like the Sophia Code prayer, take me to that place deep within your womb where I know nothing and I am born anew. So kind of feeling that way, and also seeing a vision of myself inside a cocoon, which is the cocoon of light when we transition. I mean, I've been there. I remember being there before. So it just kind of reminded me that I'm born anew, with every single breath. And, it's just like a white canvas, anything is possible. And also it grounded me, kind of made me feel very much disconnected to everything, because there's nothing, right? So
Love it.
Made me feel.
Love it. And did it come through in the same poetic way that you usually speak, or did it come through different?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I recorded it, and I don't ever, I have this thing, I don't go back. I don't go back and listen. I don't go back and replay. I just don't, it's just like something I don't do, one of those. I just don't do it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, we'll figure out how to get it to me. Well, if I
right.
we might have to upload it to my Dropbox.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Zor,
thank you.
Can you tell us what you experienced on your pep talk?
With my pep talk, I could really feel like the tingles as it went on. Just a lot of like activation. I guess you would call it a lot of brain activity, a lot of tingles in my body. I just felt very activated as time went on. After I did it started when I was doing the shamanic sounds, and I really got into a groove with that. It was probably the longest that I had ever done the shamanic sounds. And I do light language every day since me and you started working. It's just, I do it with my daughter now. It's become a part of my life. She really likes when I speak in it, and so she'll play around. Sometimes she'll even I'll ask her a question in English and she'll answer it in light language, and it's funny. But um, I really love light language, but the shamanic sounds, I I hadn't done it other than that one time that I, went off into that, really channeled that one night when I was really struggling and I was really just poured it all out. But I did it that night, last night, and it just something came over me, and then I got into my light language, and then it just the levels of things as I got from one phase to the next phase, from the shamanic sounds to the light language, and then to the channel, just to speaking to myself in third person. That's strange for me, to address myself in that manner, but it brought me back to our very first session where it was the channeling higher self, and it just was like, damn. Um, I didn't realize that's truly like I felt it that day, but it still felt so awkward for me to speak to channel a message for myself, to focus on myself and channel a message. I'm usually channeling messages for other people, and I've been doing it for so long, but to focus on myself and channel a message for me, that first day that me and you worked seemed a little bit selfish and a little bit vain. But allowing myself to get into the practice last night, it just something came over me. It just very activated, very much. Um, I don't even really know how to describe it other than just activation. Like it was just so much tingles and so much going on within me that it just felt really good to be able to give myself a message, and without doubt of, is this truly from my higher self, or is, just no questions, no doubt. There was no insecurities, there was no self-doubt. There was just, I just felt very activated, and I knew that it was something higher than, it was my higher self. I knew it was my higher self. So just to get into the message further and further, like be more and more connected to my higher self as the phases went on. It was really dope to experience that. So that's what I felt. Just a lot of tingles, a lot of just damn, like I do have a message for myself that I can't, like, I'm learning to speak in dialogue with myself, and instead of rushing outwardly to tell people what's going on with me, like I'm learning how to talk to myself and dialogue with myself without feeling insecure about it, or without feeling like I'm a complete weirdo or there's something wrong with me. I'm just really learning how to dive into that practice of just not so much the practice, but the acceptance of that this is a practice of mine, and there's nothing wrong with me that I'm doing this, and just accepting that.
Amen.
So
Thank you, brother. That's beautiful. And I thought of that too as soon as you started talking about that first day. Like, and it is weird to speak to yourself in third person, y'all. But it's very important if you want to channel to be able to separate from your own identity, to be able to put
mm,
ego aside. And when you speak to yourself from a third person, you will end up saying different things than you would
hmm
say if you just speak to yourself first person. Okay, so there's a very important um, element of that, and this as an exercise is a perfect example of one of the things that we need in a bullet point somewhere where someone can see it, because nobody would see that if they came into the program. And that exercise alone, not that many of y'all did it, or at least, said, told me that you did it or whatever. But the ones that have, it's been profound. And the invitation there will change your relationship to what we're doing. Because a huge part of the problem, there's several problems here. One is the idea that many of y'all have about, like, there's some right thing that you're trying to channel and you don't know if it's right. Like, how do I know if it's my guide or if it's my higher self? And so you don't want to speak because you don't know. That's not going to help you guys. That's why we do this automatic speaking and automatic writing stuff, is to get you out of that frame of mind. Like, I'm literally thinking about changing the name of the group just because the idea of channeling, I see it causing more problems than it is helping. And an example of that is we had 9 or 10 people in the Divinity Code workshop. None of them had meditative experience, but they all ended up channeling shit that night. They all ended up really speaking from a higher place because I never talked about it like channeling, or you have to connect with a specific being, or like, I feel like we have these mental frameworks that are stopping us from dropping into the just pure expression that's really the only challenge, which is why I always come back to improv games with you guys. It's just about pure expression. And if you let that pure expression come out, it's going to keep coming and it's going to get better and better. But you will never like know, oh, this is Seth speaking. And he said to say this. Like it doesn't work that way. Like I don't even know who's speaking when I'm channeling because I work with the whole group and I never know what I'm going to say. I just have a feeling and I start saying words that lead in the direction of that feeling. Okay. And I told y'all in the text about this, I think at the beginning of the week, that I had this really important realization in a medicine ceremony that the key to this group is, quote, exercises in collective consciousness. That's the key to the group, is exercises in collective consciousness. And that's why it's a chorus, y'all. And every part of this program really ultimately is nothing but exercises to collective consciousness. And it's all a bunch of different skills. And this particular exercise is really, really important. Number one, because I want y'all to start to practice with this as well, because part of the assignment was to listen to that channeled council of one piece first. And what I realized is that was a huge help for me in channeling, was I would listen to deep shit I loved first, and then I would just start speaking about my impressions about the thing. And so you just get into the pattern of ingest something and then let yourself express that thing that you just ingested any way that feels natural, right? This is like automatic writing, except it's on a specific topic. Okay. And it's all of these different exercises that are building the skills that are pulling y'all into these other dimensions. And you're all connecting in your own ways and at your own pace. And it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm super proud of all of you. You all know I love you. um, but seeing that we need a way to keep track of all these exercises that we can go through easily and quickly, like even if it's just an outline and we just make up names for each, focus ritual. Here's a couple of lines about the focus ritual. Calibration. Here's a couple of lines about the calibration. We'll figure it out one way or another. Did somebody put something in the chat, or are those old? Okay, those are old. All right. So let's do. Oh, wait. Bridget, thank you, Zori. Tell us anything you can about your pep talk.
Kind of hard because actually all I did was do it and then send it to you. So I didn't even re-listen to it yet. So I was going to ask you, do you want me to put that in the general thing when I get to it, to transcribe it and throw it into the feed?
Yes, if you can transcribe, like the transcribing thing, y'all, like that's not like busy work I'm trying to give y'all. It's like a necessary part of being able to share your message, is being able to get it into this format that it's really ridiculous how much faster you can read than it takes to like listen to something. And so it's a necessary part of you keeping track of what's coming through you, and it's a necessary part of you having it in a way to share it with others that is easy and doable. And so yes, please do that. And one of the things that I was hit with immediately with yours is how much space there was between some of your messages. It was really impressive that you let it go on that long and you didn't quit or give up. You stayed in there. You waited till something, like the patience to wait until something else came, and then you said it, and you said a few more things, and then there was this patience. That's really, really important. And everyone needs to know that you can edit those huge spaces out, right? Like like I have some really long spaces in my Council of One sessions, but I always compress them when I edit them. And so I just wanted to give you kudos for staying in that energy. That's the way it works, y'all. And I wanted to give you kudos, Emmy, as well, for staying in when I put you on the spot earlier. You could have, like been like, I don't know, or whatever. Like staying in this energy is really important, y'all. Thank you, hun. Okay, so real quick, what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna introduce mudras, okay? And this, once again, this is another exercise. It's one tool. And some of you, it's gonna hook you and change your life the way light language changed Zori's. Others of you, it's not gonna be that important. You're not really gonna care that much, right? It's okay, but just allow yourself to play with it tonight and access it at whatever level you can. I want y'all to all to understand this is absolutely no different than light language. It's just a physical version of light language. It's just abstract, arbitrary expression through gestures, through movements, okay? And we're going to do it the exact same way, just through an improv game that we're going to play real quick. We're going to go around the circle. We'll do me, Bridget, Marvelous, Zori, and then Emmy. If you want to play, since you don't have to talk, Kristen, you can turn your camera on. So what we're going to do is it's just like light language, but it's with gestures, all right? And so we're going to start with just making a simple shape with one or both of your hands. And that's all I want is one shape, okay? So here's an example. Okay, Bridget, make a shape. One or both hands. Any shape. Make a shape. There we go. Yep, there you go. It doesn't have to be original. Make a shape. Perfect. Marvelous. Nice. Zori. Nice. Emmy. Make a shape. Yep. Perfect. Boom. Bridget. Thank you. Marvelous. Beautiful. Zori. Nice. Emmy. Try not to think of it. Yep. Try not to think about it. Just make a shape. Okay. Now we're going to do two shapes. Okay. Bridget. Perfect. Perfect. Marvelous. Two shapes. Nice. Can't fuck it up, y'all. Zori. Thank you. Emmy. Yep. Awesome. Now three shapes. Bridget. Nice. Marvelous. Beautiful. Thank you. Zori. Perfect. Emmy. Nice. Awesome. Okay. So now we're going to make it magic, y'all. It's that easy. Now we're going to make it magic. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to close our eyes and we're going to pretend we know every movement, every gesture creates energy. And you're going to play with the energy. Okay. And the way we would do it with light language, we would do one syllable, two syllables, three syllables, then we'd do a whole sentence. So we've done one symbol, two symbols, and three symbols. Now we're going to do a whole sentence in mudras and symbols. Okay. So here it goes. I'll go first. You're going to close your eyes. And make several symbols. One at a time, one at a time. I don't want to miss them. I don't want to miss them. One at a time. Bridget, eyes closed, go. Beautiful. Love it. Doctor Strange in the house. Marvelous. Mm. Hello, nice to meet you. Did anybody else feel that? I felt that. I felt that. Thank you. Thank you, Marvelous. I told y'all magic. Magic. All right. Perfect example. Zori. Yep. Yep. Zori, give us some energy. Hmm. that was like ancestral like packs being made. Oh, she felt it in her throat. I felt it in my chest. But it was like all these ancestral like packs they were making up and shit. And it was like, all right, we can be friends now, y'all. Drop all that. I love it. That was awesome. That was awesome. All right, Emmy, you ready? Close your eyes, make some shapes, give us some magic. Ah, nice. That was awesome.
That felt like a phoenix, girl.
I love
That's
it.
all I felt. That's what I'm looking at.
Tingles.
Phoenix is rising.
Tingles. Thank you. This is weird shit, y'all. All right, last one. Last one. Now we're gonna activate these mudras with our light language. So now you're going to speak light language and do your mudras at the same time. Just one sentence. If you want to do a paragraph, that's fine. At least one sentence. I'll go first. Undalamanakото ulokunuta semanato. Imbelekoye kanate se foto puchu kutuna. Helama timaka solo. Bridget. Oh, you're hold on. You got to unmute. We got to hear that.
Came up differently. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Haseko tamakana alawate umache teseko lama no kotoasi dunamane tu.
Woo! Nice. Thank you. Marvelous.
Astrana uti a irikada isi wana ata u asakanana isikini uta ana ata u isikana uni astrana na ini kiti usukara nana waka ina a u
Nice. Thank you. You ready, Zori, or you need a second? All right, do it, bud. That was beautiful, marvelous. I got hot all up in here.
Iwimitishia kwiti mawu shishia miwitia mawu yakamatushi wi ifishia maku yamaya tishi miwi iwimitishi iwimitishi wi maku shimi yaku wakamatisha wamaisha kaya wo isha vi ya foshama yakoya ti Yawatush, Yawatush, Yamaya, Koyamati, Woyamaya, Yakoyati, Shemi, Maya Poya Tishawa, Yawako, Yawako, Yaya Shishiami, Yapatusha Makayawo, Yayawo, Shishawi, Shishawi, Moya Mataya, Koyamaya, Sosawi. Oh.
Woo! Thank you. That made me hot too. Emmy, give it to us, hon. Oh, we got to unmute. Light language and mudras.
Okay. God. No vatakuntaran dolope canto sira come ripeto secondero in cando su retana follow.
Beautiful. All you got to do is just start letting yourself speak with your hands, y'all, and they'll take over. They'll do their own thing, and it will add its own frequency to the game. Okay, we don't have as long as I wanted for our meditation, but let's go in real quick. And I've got everybody's mics off. Well, I will give you a chance to actually, let's turn everybody's mics on real quick. I wanna be able to hear. I want to be able to hear. Everybody, turn your mic on. All right. Go ahead and close your eyes. Oh, sorry. Before you do that, let me make this. So I think y'all all saw this on the thread. This is the sigil for the council. I want everybody to look at this and understand this is looking up. And this is a fraction of how many beings we have helping us. And this is literally a stairway to heaven. And when I come in, the sound echoes and spirals all the way up into infinity. And it's light language, it's chorus type vocalizing. Image you can use to activate the council for yourselves. Just remember it and activate it in your mind. You can make this an icon, okay? All right, eyes closed. Take a deep inhale, body's expanding outward like a balloon. Exhale, the body relaxing, melting. Inhale, expand and float like a balloon. Exhale, relax and melt like butter. Follow the feeling of your breath as it moves through your body. Visualize this spiral of the council of councils. Feel the energy of hundreds or thousands of beings looking down from above. Open your crown to receive energy. And very slowly and gently let your hands make any mudra that assists this process. Any mudras the hands need to make as you receive this energy coming down from above. Visualize this energy pouring into you. Visualize the color, the light, the truth. Now allow yourself to make any sounds, any shamanic sounds that help. Let the frequency assist the transmission. Then add in any light language that helps this process. The sound and the movement make the exchange real. The sound and the movement exchange real. Beautiful. Let your field float. Feel the presence. Feel the presence of oneness. Allow this oneness to merge every cell in your body. Allow this oneness to merge with every strand of DNA so that every cell of your body remembers its source. Every cell of your body remembers its source. Give your guides thanks Thank the Council of Councils. Thank your sacred space. Thank your newfound sigil. See that it is a direct hotline to this Council of Councils. Feel the support of your other soul stream collaborators, your spirit family. Feel the love. Feel the light. Appreciate all of it. Bookmark what you learned about your hands, about mudras, about how mudras affect your energy. Remember, they are a physical version of light language, and they will connect you to your higher truth in the exact same way. Beautiful. Allow yourself to drip back down into this dimension, slowly, gently, filling up your body. Stretching anything that needs to stretch, wiggling anything that needs to wiggle. Woo! I don't know about y'all, but I'm hot. I'm hot. All right. Anybody got anything to share about mudras? Anything that you discovered playing with your hands? That was awesome.
Man, that's the best I felt today. Seriously, that's the best I felt today. Like just energy wise, just in a flow. That's the first time today I didn't feel any anxiety or any like dis-ease in my body. Just being completely in tune and allowance um of of that of the signals of the vibration of the I'm not too unfamiliar with that. You know, I come from a neighborhood where we throw signs up anyway. So it's like just trying to, we speak with our hands anyway. So it's just like I've always been attracted to using the energy in my hands and I feel it in my hands so deeply. So today to just allow the spirit energy to flow in a vibration of peace and harmony and love, way different than what I was brought up to use my fingers as, you know what I'm saying? And it just was a different type of feel. It was a different type of energy, especially to not correlate it with certain signs that I've, you know, used to throw and, you know, how we used to communicate on a negative frequency. And I'm not even gonna call it negative, but just it was always communal, but the signals had negative connotation along with the lifestyle. So just being able to free my mind up from, okay, don't worry about that. Just let your fingers do what they do. And then to speak the light language, it was like, that is something different. That is something different. It made me nervous at first because it's like, damn, I've never done this. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never done this. I do light language all the time, but to do it with and allow my fingers to move and it's just something was happening to me. Something was happening to me. A level of healing that I haven't felt at all today. You know what I'm saying? I haven't felt ever like not like that. That was something different. That was completely something different. And that opened up something for me. Damn, that opened up a lot for me. And I felt like I was gonna do that today. When I was thinking about it earlier, I was like, it would be crazy if we just start making up our own signs and like it's crazy. I was just like, it would be crazy if we do just exactly what we did. I didn't know we were gonna do it with the light language. And that with the light language is just added. I feel really good right now. Like I feel like really activated. I feel like a big release too. Man, I feel amazing. Like that was an amazing practice, straight up.
Beautiful. I really felt yours deeply, bro, and I saw you sink into that flow too. It's beautiful to watch. Can you share anything with us, Marvelous?
Um, yeah, um, that's like more of an expression of me. And, today we're talking about discipline and understanding, how discipline is, pretty much, you know, it sounds to me that the message is know thyself in the discipline of, who I am and what is the energy that I'm bringing forth. Right. So this exercise, it just kind of, it's a good testament for myself because I know my energy. As the minute I walk in a room, my energy walks actually before I get in, right? But it's not the same as being intentional with allowing myself to intuitively let it flow, and then see the impact that it has on you guys. It's just like it really fills my heart to know that I'm just like I'm so full of love for all of us. It's just amazing. And to be witnessed by you all, because I'm just practicing for what's to come. I'm getting ready for
Mm-hmm.
a bigger or more, like, to spread myself. And this is just the beginning. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you for allowing me to be myself here and just release and just express myself and release this energy and just love on you and just allow myself to follow that intuition and the guidance from Maribel is that's the one who sent me here, right? So I'm just it's just beautiful. So thank you for the opportunity to create, you create this space where I just show up and allow myself to just express myself in this way that normal human beings don't, right? Like we've been conditioned to not allow ourselves to come in and show up as divine and as in tune with our with our light. And so I'm showing up, and I am so grateful for this space and every one of you, and I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Marvelous. That was beautiful. You're bringing tears to others as well. Bridget, can you share anything you discovered, felt with the mudras?
Yes, but also I have a comment. I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, but since Thursday, everything has seemed more intensified and amped up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling more energy charges flowing through me. I am so hot right now. It is not funny. My hands are just exploding heat. So, but yeah, and I felt it amp up even more when I started doing the mudras with the chanting, and it's like a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. So, and it's crazy.
Amen. I love it. Thank you. That's awesome. And Emmy, is there anything you can share with us that you felt doing it? Oh, you're muted. Hold on.
This is something obviously I need to work on and overcome. Like, being on camera is kind of still weird to me. And I've always felt like I kind of need to hide myself. So I just need to work on those things, expressing myself and not just letting it go. But I'm much better with like writing things down, like automatic writing and different things like that to express myself. So this is probably the toughest part of it all, like the like language and try not to overthink things and try not to think, what are they going to think of me? Blah, blah, blah. Annoying stuff in my head, like.
Yeah.
But
you did it all, honey. You
dang
did
it.
it all. And that's all it takes is to do it. And the more times you do it, the easier it'll get. Promise you, it'll open you up. And I'll text you about the information and text, okay? Proud of
And the thing that I observed is how brave you are.
you. Mm-hmm.
That's what I observed. That's what I'm thinking. How brave you are. If you want to know what I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, remember who you were 2-3 months ago. Like, remember who you were 2-3 months ago, for real.
And if I can make a comment, Bridget, when you were doing your light language with the mudras, it felt like you were opening like a whole new community. It just felt like you were just and can't just like creating and opening this new community. Just felt like big mama energy.
I feel like a lot opening up happening.
Yeah, like big mama energy. Like I'm just this is I'm welcoming. It's just like a welcoming thing. And then when Sate was talking, it was more like like a little like discipline, like safeguards and discipline. So that's what I felt.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful. We'll figure out this challenge. We just need a way to keep track of. There's too many good, important exercises that we're doing, and I can't even keep track of them. So we just need, even if it's just a document, it's an outline. We'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know in a couple of days. Homework for this week. Thank you all that did it. If you did not do it, I would encourage you to do it this week. I know it's scary, but like, this is the work, y'all, and I promise there's plenty of things waiting for you, but you just got to get up there and let the stuff happen, and you will be surprised. I promise you. I love all of you. Thank you so much. I'll send you some homework in a couple of days. Y'all are all rock stars. Love you guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.